Hello everybody, this is a quick tutorial on an app called GarageBand, and GarageBand is a music app. You can see the icon with the guitar. This is GarageBand. I'll press that. So, first of all, I'll just give you a very quick overview on the possibilities with GarageBand, and then I will make an example where I create very quickly a song using the so-called smart instruments in GarageBand. And then at the end, I will take you on a little tour around the possibilities. But the first part will be a very quick introduction to give you a quick overview, so to say. So this is how GarageBand looks when you open the app. On the left side, you can see you can actually connect it to not only iCloud Drive, but also Dropbox, Google Drives, and so. And you can actually save your files there, but we will not go into that. Instead, we will look on the right side where you can see a white button with a plus. It says Opret Dokument in Danish. This means this is where you press when you want to start a song. And I'll do that. There you go. So the first thing you see is kind of a desktop thing, a desk where you can see all the various instruments and possibilities in GarageBand. And let's just look at it from the beginning. As you can see here, it's possible to connect the keyboard, but also there are some virtual keyboards in the app. There are drums. This is the possibility of connecting a real guitar or real bass and then play it using effects and stuff like that. Here you can, yes, of course, you can record singing and stuff like that. This is a microphone with setups with regarding instruments and also voice. You can get access to strings, bass, virtual guitars, even Asian instruments. Some of them are really good. A virtual drummer who will almost do the work for you, and which is kind of important when you are a little bit more trained, you can connect to other apps that has some music possibilities. As you can, for instance, see here, if I press one of the buttons, you can see here are several apps that I can bring into GarageBand, but we'll not go into that here. Finally, there are also some sounds and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and try to make a quick tune. So depending on how you think when you're working with music, a good place to start could be by recording some keyboards. And I'll show you here. It says keyboards, but that means that you get access not to only what you might think is a classical thing like keyboards. You can see here it would be organs, piano, and so on. You also get access to several fun synthesizers. You can get access to instruments like you see here, French horn, brass, glockenspiel, stuff like that. So there are so many possibilities in it. We will do some simple basic stuff and use one of these classical instruments. I kind of like the smooth clav. That's the one that you sometimes hear when you listen to soul music and stuff like that. So I'll choose that. And this gives me now a possibility to show you a little bit around in the app. Every instrument you choose looks a little bit different design-wise because they kind of try to make it look a little bit like the original instrument, but the basic stuff covers just about every of these instruments. So when you look here, you can see, for instance, you can play, and this in itself can be enough to create music. But if you look on the buttons here just above the keyboards, on the far right, you can press here, and now you get a little bit of help. It makes it very easy to play. So now you can see the chords, and if I, for instance, play the E minor, you can hear it's not just one piece of keyboard I'm playing, it's the entire chord, and so on. So this makes it easy to do recordings. But if you look on top where it says autoplay, it can be even more easy because maybe you can't really play, but the app can help you. So if I, for instance, change this one to number 1, you can see the keyboard here changes also. And if I press the E major, or sorry, the E minor, it actually plays a rhythm. And if I change the chord, you can hear we are almost getting close to making a real song. So, and you can see there are 2 buttons. The one below is kind of playing the bass notes, and the one on top play, yeah, the more high notes. Anyway, if I change it to number 2, you can see it's a completely different rhythm. And if I change to number 3 and number 4 also. So here you can probably already see that you have the basics for recording some great piano rhythms. And over on the right side, there are possibilities to change the sound. I will not go deep into that, but just show you as an example. If I turn the auto wah, you can't really hear the difference, but it does a little bit of difference. Anyway, so what I want to show you now is, one more thing. If you look at the tool up on the right corner here, you get access to some other things. For instance, tempo. At the moment it's at 110, but if I want to change it, I can make it a little bit slower, maybe because you want your song to be slow. I'll keep the 110 because I think this will make it fun and groovy. But you could also change from 4/4 to 3/4 and 6/8 and so on. And if you don't like playing in C major, which this is, you could change to a completely different. You can see it changes on the keyboard. I'll go back to C. And finally, if I want some other chords than here, I can press Redigere Akkorde, which means edit the chords. I'll press there, and I can simply choose what I need to. It will choose from the one that's marked. So now at the moment, if let's say we change for the E minor, if we want it to be a E major, you can see here, it changes there. But I'll go back to E minor. So you have many levels of changing stuff here, but let's just go with the plain setup and start recording. The last thing I need to do actually before recording is, can you see up here in the right corner there's a plus? When I press that, I can choose for how long the song is going on. At the moment it will just record these 8, but I could change it to 16, or if I'm in doubt how long my song will be, I could change it to automatic, which means it will stop when I stop. So I will not record a long song anyway, but let's just change it to automatic. So on top here you can see it's possible to play what's recorded, and the red record button is of course the one we want now. I'll start recording and I'll improvise a tune now. So now I've actually recorded the first keyboard in my song, and if I'm really lucky, I might actually remember which chords I played. So this I need when I record the next instrument. So this is the first instrument, and then if you look on top here, you can see 3 icons here. I'll choose the one in, on top left, you can see 3 icons. I will choose the one in the middle. And this gives me a possibility to add new instruments. So if you look down left, you can see a plus. If I press there, I get the same thing up again. So now I have a keyboard, and I'm probably going for a bass. Let's see, here's a bass. So if I press the bass here, over here it says more sounds, I can choose between different basses, and I actually like this Liverpool bass. It's kind of like Paul McCartney, yeah. So I press that, and you can see now it looks more like a bass, but on top here you can see autoplay again. So let's go directly to autoplay. You can see this changes. Hear the sound. This is pretty plain bass. Let's see what this gets. This is a little bit more funky. This is not that interesting. Let's see this last. This is more fun. Let's take this one. So what I need to do now is to press the E minor, which I started with, and then press record, and then follow the chords as I did at the first round. There you go. So now I have some keyboard and some bass, and the next thing would be drums, and I'll do the same again, plus, and I'll go for a drummer, and I think we should try this virtual drummer. This is kind of fun, and I can choose between acoustic drums, electronics, percussion, and as in the other situations I can get a more bigger overview. There are some many different drummers that I can choose between. So let's see. I think let's go for Logan. Let's see what happens here. And now it kind of auto-generates some rhythm that it might think will work with my tune. And let's simply just hear how it sounds. It works, but I think it's a little bit boring, to be honest. So I'll press on Logan's head here and see if Kyle might have something more fun. And now it actually changes to something that's in the repertoire of the virtual drummer, Kyle. Let's hear him. Okay, let's take that actually. So now we actually have a song, just about. We need some singing. And now I'll simply just for a moment pause the video so I can find my headphones. Hang on. Right, so now I'm back with headphones on, and I'm using headphones because now I will be recording the song, and that means that I'll be using the microphone. And if I play it without having my headphones on, the microphone would also record the song on the instruments as part of my singing, and this will sound horrible. But now I'm ready to record my voice. So I press plus, I choose a microphone, and I press voices here. And if you look in the middle, here it says lead vocals. I could actually change this, but I think I'm pretty happy with lead vocals, so I'll keep that. But let's see what happens. I'll pick a phrase from Hamlet, because I used Hamlet in another tutorial, and let's see how this sounds. Probably horrible, but anyway. To be or not to be, that is the question. But not for me, because I am Hamlet, King of Denmark. I'm Hamlet. Yeah. And when you're King of Denmark, you can do whatever you like. Oh, yeah. Well, this will be interesting to hear. Let's see how it sounds.
To be or not to be, that is the question. But not for me, because I am Hamlet, King of Denmark. I'm Hamlet. Yeah.
Well, could be worse, but probably not much more worse. But anyway, so now I actually have my song. Let's press the button with the three squares here on the left here. Sorry, that was not the one. Let's press the one that we normally use. This one here, yeah. So now we are out where we can see all the tracks, and if I put my finger on the left and draw it like here, I get access to adjusting level, stuff like that. So maybe the voice needs to come a little bit louder. Yes, and this is probably where we are now. I think the song is ready, and if I want to share it, all I need to do is to go out here where it says Mine Sange, which means my songs. There you go. And then up in the corner it says Vælg, which means choose. If I press that, pick my song, I on the bottom here can press Del, which means share. And then it gives me the possibility to choose between some ringing tones, which I will not use. The project is if I want to export this to GarageBand on a Mac computer and work with it from there. But sang, which means song, means that I will generate a MP3 style file, and I can choose between various qualities, and I can press Del, which again means share. There you go. And choose where I want to put it. I could say open in, because I'll show you how I could export it to one of the other apps that I'm using, I hope. So now you can see it exports it, and then I could choose from, there it was, Book Creator, for instance. Send to Book Creator, and if I go to Book Creator, which I will do now, I can actually jump into, this is my new book, the one I worked on at the tutorial of the Book Creator. And if I go to a new page, here you go, and press the plus up here, it says share. Can you see here? Shared. And it says audio. And I can do that as a button, and let's see. There you go. So now I have actually created a song and I have exported it to Book Creator. So this was a very quick tutorial on how to use this. This is a complicated app, but if you sit down and do it a little bit slowly, you can very easily get to a startup level, and that was what I was showing you. So now we'll stop here, and then in a moment I will show you on a little tour of the possibilities in the app, just to give you an idea on what you can actually do with this.